Hello, I'm Yuri Galimidi, and I'm excited to invite you into my leadership podcast. My aim with these podcasts is to equip you with the most advanced science-based leadership practices that will help you become the most accomplished leader you could possibly be. The podcast will be 5 to 10 minutes long. They will be posted every second week on my YouTube channel, my website, as well as a variety of other websites. Also, I invite you to contact me and share with me your thoughts about these podcasts, as well as any topics you would like me to speak about in future podcasts. Our first podcast will be about creating high performing teams. This podcast will have two parts. In the first part 1, I will share with you a story that happened to me and my team some years back. And in the second podcast, I will share with you the practice of building a high performing team. My story begins on a Monday morning at 8:30. My 9 team leads were seated around the table waiting for me to start the meeting. Good morning, I said to everyone. As you know, this morning we have to decide whether we're going live this weekend with our project or not. So the first thing I'd like you to do is pull out a piece of paper, write your name at the top, and write down one of three choices: go, no go, or go with qualifications. I waited for a couple of minutes for everyone to complete their responses. I gathered the 9 pieces of paper and reviewed them quickly, and as it turned out, everyone had agreed that we should go live that weekend, and no one actually even had any qualifications for the go live. Okay, I said, let's go around the table now and let everyone talk about what risks they see to the go live and what mitigating actions we should take in the week ahead. And people talked about some minor points, but nothing major. So at the end of the meeting, I concluded by saying, tomorrow morning at 8:30, I'm meeting with our senior vice president, and I will inform him that we will execute our go live implementation this coming weekend. That evening at my dinner table, I was sitting down over a glass of wine and planning and contemplating the week ahead when I got a phone call from Josh, our technical lead responsible for our servers and our infrastructure. And Josh was very, very distraught on the phone, sounding very, very upset, and said to me, Yuri, we have to meet this evening as soon as possible. I said, what? What's up? What's going on, Josh? And he said, Yuri, let's meet as soon as we can at the nearest Starbucks. So I realized that this is an important situation, and I said, okay. And 20 minutes later, I was sitting across the table from Josh and was visibly upset. And I said, what's going on, Josh? And he said, Yuri, unfortunately, we cannot go live this weekend. I said, what? What do you mean? Why can we not go live? And he said, we had tested our servers at average capacity, but we have not tested the service at peak demand. And I believe that this is a major risk to the project. I said, what? Why didn't you say something this morning? This is why we explicitly had the meeting so that everyone could express their concerns with the go live. And Josh, again, very, very upset, choking on his emotions, said, Yuri, you may not have noticed this, but the rest of the team leads do not respect me. They do not respect my personality. They do not respect my professional qualifications. And so I was afraid of being bullied again by some of my colleagues, and I chose to stay quiet. I sat down quietly for a moment, and then I said, how much time do you need, Josh, to carry out these peak capacity tests? And he said, I need 2 weeks. 1 week to carry out the peak load tests, 1 week to fix anything and retest the system. I said, okay, Josh, we are not going live this weekend. Tomorrow morning at 7:30, we will have another team leads meeting. I will tell them of our decision and I will ask you to stand up and explain why it is that we're not going live. I will then go to the senior vice president and I will let him know of our decision as well. As it turned out, the servers could not withstand the peak load and we needed to replace the main processor, and Josh was very, very well prepared with a spare main processor and the vendor all standing by to replace what needed attention. So we retested the servers and this time they tested okay. 2 weeks later we went live very, very successfully. And the project was implemented as it was intended and anyone expected. A month later, when everything has settled down, I was taking a short vacation, sitting down and contemplating what had gone wrong. How did I miss the fact that one of our team leads felt so insecure in his position, so unrespected and not trusted for his judgment and for his professional and technical knowledge? Had he not called me that evening, our project could have ended in disaster, and I would not even have seen this coming. Clearly, there was something major I missed in the way I forged the working relationships of my team leads. In part 2 of this podcast, I want to share with you how to avoid the mistakes that I have made and how to build a high-performing team.